Funded by the European Commission, Photon Hub Europe seeks to boost the competitiveness of and uptake of photonics technologies across Europe. You should get in touch with Photon Hub if you are a company innovating in photonics and are interested in grant funding, technical support, business and investment readiness coaching, support, training, or access to advanced research centers focused on technologies. One of the key highlights of our program are the exclusive online investor days. These dedicated sessions provide our beneficiaries with a platform to pitch their ideas and connect directly with potential investors. It's an incredible opportunity to showcase your vision and secure the funding for your business. My name is Bernard Buisson. I will be your host today. I work at Ecole Polytechnique, Executive Education. I'm also a professor of entrepreneurship at Ecole Polytechnique. And I'm happy to help Photon Hub increase its impact by interviewing some of the people who make the photonics industry in Europe. Welcome to this new episode of Photonpreneurs titled Insights from 10 Years of Light Shaping. And I'm very happy and lucky to welcome today Mrs. Pu Jian, who is the Chief Product Officer and Deputy CEO of Cailabs, one of the most visible companies today in the photonics industry. Cailabs celebrated its 10th anniversary in 2023. Mrs. Jian, you were also recognized last week in Photonics 100, the list of the 100 most innovative people in the photonics industry in 2024 by Electro Optics. Congratulations for that and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you
For being with us today. So my first question is going to be related to your field of study. So I saw you studied at Ecole Normale Supérieure in Paris, and you did your PhD in physics at Pierre and Marie Curie University. Can you tell us a bit more on your background? So how did you end up studying physics, for instance?
I think that takes us back a while ago now. I was really interested in math, actually, in theories, but I also wanted to see how this could be applied to real life situations. And so I think physics was the best way for me to combine I would say the theoretical aspects of math but also the application to the industry and to real life situations, I would say. That's also the reason why I chose quantum optics as my PhD topic. So quantum optics is one of these rare fields in physics where you can both work on the theory and on doing the experiments during, I would say, maybe not the same day, but at least during the course of your PhD. And so that's also the reason why I chose this field. Okay.
And so I saw you did your PhD at the Pierre and Marie Curie University in a lab which is called Laboratoire Kastler-Brossel. What should we know about this specific lab?
So the Laboratoire Kastler-Brossel, which is a joint lab between the Ecole Normale Supérieure of Paris, the Université Pierre and Marie Curie, and the Collège de France as well, is actually one of the leading labs in quantum physics in the world. So there are three professors of Laboratoire Kastler-Brossel who were recipients of the Nobel Prize in Physics, actually. So Alfred Kastler, one of the founder of the lab, Claude Cohen-Tanouji, and more recently Serge Haroche. So it's an amazing lab to work on quantum physics and quantum optics.
And so your PhD thesis is titled Quantum Limits in Range Finding Measurement with Optical Frequency Comms. So can you try to explain us, to explain the audience what it means?
Sure. So as you may know, a lot of distance measurements, so range finding measurements, are done by using time of flight measurement. So basically measuring how much time it takes for a pulse of light to travel to the target you want to measure and to come back. And the idea of my thesis was to look really at the quantum limits of this kind of measurements. So what is the fundamental accuracy, fundamental precision you can get out of this measurement by using the most precise laser you can find.
Okay. And today you are CEO, Chief Product Officer and Deputy CEO at Cailabs. So can you tell us briefly what are your main responsibilities, and what does a typical working day look like for you today?
Sure. So as the Chief Product Officer of Cailabs, my main responsibility and also the responsibility of my team in general is to basically define what are and what will be the products of Cailabs. So how we can use our technology and address the needs of the market with it. What kind of features we should develop in the future, what kind of markets we should address, and also support our customers and bridge the link between our customers and the research and development team of Cailabs to actually develop these new products for the market, these innovative products for the markets. And for me specifically, what would be a typical day or week, basically I would share my time between three main aspects, I would say. The first one is to build this strategy, this product strategy with my team. So support my team in developing these product roadmaps. Also coordinating internal transverse projects. So working with the technical team, the operation team, the communication team, the sales team of Cailabs, and coordinating the work between all these different teams. And finally, also being in charge of the discussions with strategic partners and strategic customers of Cailabs and helping establishing, I would say, a healthy relationship with all these strategic partners.
So I'm going to go back to the in time to the origins of Cailabs. So maybe we can have a few words regarding your PhD supervisor, because I think he was involved in the creation of
Yes.
Cailabs. So his name is Nicolas Treps.
Mm-hmm.
What was his expertise at the time of the foundation of Cailabs?
So Nicolas' expertise, and it was the same. It's the same today as it was before. Nicolas' expertise is on quantum optics, so using light to perform quantum operations and quantum measurements. And so he was especially interested in what is called continuous variable quantum optics. So really using not necessarily single photons, but more quantum states based on more intense light. So that's so he would be interested both in using this quantum, the spatial aspects of the quantum spatial aspects of light. This is where Cailabs come from, but also more in frequency, in time, in other properties of light.
So I saw that Cailabs was founded in 2013. What was the starting point for the of Cailabs? So how did Professor Treps move from a professor and expert to startup founder?
This happened during the PhD thesis of Jean-François Morizur, so Cailabs CEO and co-founder. So Jean-François did his PhD as well with Nicolas Treps, and the topic of his thesis was to also work on quantum states of light, but based on the spatial modes of the quantum states. And he was trying to manipulate these spatial modes while maintaining the quantum aspects of the light. And for that, he needed to manipulate the shape of light while being completely lossless, not losing photons, not basically losing the quantum aspect of the beam of light. And that's how he invented the MPLC, the multiplane light conversion technology that is at the core of Cailabs. I think during his thesis, he envisioned right away that it could have applications outside of quantum optics. And so with Nicolas Treps, they both worked on patenting this technology during the thesis, and the technology was patented in 2010. Well, they were right on the nose, because very quickly afterwards, some researchers from the at the time Alcatel-Lucent, now Nokia, Bell Labs, reached out to them around 2011, 2012, to say that actually this technology would be very, very useful for telecommunication applications, and that they were interested in testing it and helping to develop the first prototype. And so that's how Cailabs was created. So to actually exploit this this technology that was invented during Jean-François' thesis, and to apply it to more industrial fields.
Okay, so Professor Treps and Jean-François Morizur were the two co-founders initially.
Actually, there's a third co-founder for Cailabs, who is Guillaume Labroye, and who is the technical officer of Cailabs today. So Guillaume joined the adventure when the Bell Labs reached out to develop this first prototype, and so he contributed to the founding of Cailabs.
Okay, but and then you joined shortly after, or immediately after?
Yeah, I was doing my PhD at the time with Professor Treps, and so I was following all the developments of these first steps of Cailabs. I was really excited about what was happening, and so I reached out to Jean-François to join after my thesis.
Okay, and so the company is located in Rennes. Is there a specific reason why it's there?
Yeah, there are two reasons mainly. The first one was that we knew right from the start that we wanted to control the production and the manufacturing of the systems that Cailabs commercialize. And so we knew that we needed space. We needed space to have labs, to have a production line, and we knew that we couldn't stay in Paris for that. So we looked for places outside of Paris, but still, I would say, close enough for travel, for also attracting talents, and also with a telecom background, because this was our main market at the beginning. And well, the Brittany region was perfect for that, because there's a long history of telecom companies in Brittany, and so we chose Rennes for that reason.
Yeah, including Orange in Rennes and Lannion.
Yes.
Do you remember what was the initial ambition of Cailabs? So you had a wonderful technology, which could have many applications, industrial applications. So was the ambition simply to roll the technology in as many industries as possible?
Not necessarily at the beginning. I think we were focusing mostly on the telecom applications when we started. The main idea was to increase the capacity of optical fibers, so to increase the data rate you can have in a fiber link by using the shapes of light. So today in telecom, we use different wavelengths, we use polarization, we use phase as ways to multiplex the signal in the fiber. And the main idea, the one that was provided by the Bell Labs initially, was to also use the shape of light to do that. And this topic called space division multiplexing was a booming research topic at the moment when Cailabs was funded. So the initial ambition was really to develop the components, the spatial multiplexer that would enable this kind of space division multiplexing for the backhaul telecom networks. Yeah.
Okay, but when Cailabs was created in 2013, the product you had in mind was probably still a prototype, or were you able to sell something immediately?
When Cailabs started, we had a prototype which was pretty big. It was like the size of a table, I would say. We worked quite quickly into starting to miniaturize it, to making it more robust, something that's not a breadboard, but something that's bound and compact and that could be shipped to a customer. And that happened actually quite fast, and we were able to sell our first product within a year after the funding of Cailabs.
Okay, and the first product was really the application of the technology you worked while you were a PhD student. That was the technology coming from the lab, huh?
Yes, it was the same technology.
In a compact version, probably.
More compact, more robust. That was the main point. Also better performance, of course. But yeah, that was the main idea was to really just to transpose the work from the Laboratoire Cailabs to something that was optimized for telecom, so the right wavelength as well for telecom. And actually, this was the first product itself was a great success because it was sold to a Japanese operator called KDDI, so the equivalent of Orange or others in Japan. And to their research lab, and they managed to achieve the world record of fiber capacity using the first unit we sold of our products. They reached 10 petabits per second of data rate in one span of. So.
Oh, okay. So that was a fast start. Should we? So, from what you're telling me, it seems that we should look at Cailabs as a very typical case of research spin-off, lab research directly translated to the industrial world.
I guess I don't know what's considered typical. At least, I guess one point is we did not keep the initial application, which was quantum physics for the lab development. But apart from that, yeah, it's really in terms of technology, it's a direct transposition of what the lab, what was invented in the lab to the industrial world.
Okay, so let's move, if you want, to Cailabs today. So maybe I can ask you a few basic numbers, such as how many employees do you have today at Cailabs?
We are 87 today.
Oh, okay.
And with a very strong increase, we increased by 25 people in 1 year, in the last year.
Okay, wow. And so when it comes to the turnover, 2022, if you can mention this number, is it? I don't know if it's public or not.
It's not public.
It's not public.
More than 7 figures.
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep it for another interview. And how much money you raised over the last 10 years? So this one is public, as far as I know. Huh?
Yes, we've raised 45 million euros since the start of Cailabs, with a last round of 26 million euros in 2022.
And that was probably round number 3?
That was Series B, yeah.
Okay. What's the typical profile of a Cailabs employee? So I guess he's been trained in science and
not necessarily. So it's very diverse. At Cailabs, we have 35% of women. We have 8 different nationalities. There are a lot of different languages that are spoken at Cailabs. There's a strong technical core team, I would say. Of course, we have a very strong R&D team. I think last time we counted, we have more than 20 PhDs in physics in the company. But it's not only the technical part. To build a company where we also have the manufacturing in-house, where we commercialize in-house. We also have a strong support team in Cailabs. So with the administrative part, the logistics, with HR, with communication, with sales. So it's very diverse.
Yeah. And how would you describe the company culture? Is there such a thing as a corporate culture at Cailabs?
Yeah, there is. We have four main values for the company. They are so the four values are a focus on a positive impact, and this positive impact is obviously towards the market, but also internally towards all the stakeholders, basically of Cailabs, so the employees, investors, and our customers. We favor a culture of exploration as well, so we really encourage our employees to think outside of the box and to explore different ideas. We have a commitment to mastery, so we want to be excellent in what we do. And the last part, which is something that's at least for me, it's very important, is intellectual honesty. So we really value the fact that we can be transparent between ourselves and to have challenging conversations also between ourselves. And more generally, I think in terms of company culture, we value the challenge. We love challenges, and we love trying new things and innovating and pushing our boundaries. But this is done while respecting, I think, a healthy balance for our employees. So healthy work-life balance for employees is also something that's very important at the core of Cailabs.
So as the technology and excellence is very important for you. So I guess you've developed an impressive portfolio of patents over the years.
Yes, this is something that's very important for us to protect our technology. So on top of the initial patents that was filed during Jean-François's thesis, we have continued filing patents to protect not only the technology itself, but also how we actually implement it and how we apply it to different fields. So today we hold a family of 26 family patents. And we also develop a strong culture internally of protecting our know-how. So there are things that we cannot patent, but we really value the confidentiality around our know-how. For example, how we actually build this beam shaping technology. And in terms of strategy towards partners and customers, we really value our IP, and so we have a strong IP strategy towards in our contracts.
So as far as I understand it, all your products are based on the initial technology, which is multiplane light conversion.
Yes.
So can you try to tell us how it works, basically in basic terms, for people who are not experts in optics?
Yeah. So the way MPLC works is that the idea is that we can perform beam shaping, so changing the shape of light by using spatial profile.
Yes, if you want to share
I will share
a picture, yes, please do.
Just a few pictures, maybe. So if you look at a laser pointer and you shine a piece of paper with your laser pointer on a piece of paper, it has an extension. It's not an infinitely small point. Usually, it's basically a round shape, but this shape can actually be changed. And the MPLC is one very versatile way to change this shape. The idea is that if you put this shape through a succession of what we call faceplates, but it's basically a textured surface. So if you go through a succession of textured surface,
these are like filters.
Kind of, yeah. Not filters because it doesn't lose light, but more like complex lenses or complex mirrors. Like, for example, a Fresnel lens in a lighthouse. That's the kind of thing we go through. more complex than a Fresnel lens, but you can look at it that way. And so if you go through a succession of phase transformation, you can actually achieve almost any transformation you want. And this is true for one single beam. So if you look at the top left, the bottom left a picture, so you go from one round dot to a ring. But it can also be true for multiple beams at the same time. So we could shape, let's say, 3 different beams at the same time, and each of the beam has a different shape at the output. So this is multiplane light conversion. This is MPLC, the idea of using and the way of optimizing these phase transforms to achieve whatever beam transformation you want.
Okay, but your devices achieve that within one optical fiber.
It could be, for example, for an optical fiber, yes. So if you look at the bottom right picture, for example, this is actually how we implement it. We don't put 10 successive faceplates one after the other, because this would be a nightmare to align. The way we do it is actually we manufacture one reflective faceplate with all the different spatial transforms, one next to the other, and then the light goes back and forth between this reflective faceplate and a mirror. And so you can see here, for example, we have 10 Gaussian beams, so 10 single mode fibers, standard telecom fibers, which shine the MPLC. And at the output, each one of the fiber is actually changed into a different shape. And so if you...
So that's how you can increase the capacity carried by each optical fiber.
Yes, so you can see here, so basically each, you would have, for example, these 6 shapes that are shown in the bottom inside the fiber, and each of the shape carries an independent channel of information, and so that's how you increase 6-fold the capacity of the fiber, for example.
Okay, wow. Okay, so let's switch to the industries where these technologies are applied. So I'm probably going to start by asking you: is there one specific project, which is not confidential, of course, which you find especially impactful today when it comes to applying your technology to a real industry?
I think the project I would want to focus on is the project called Keronos. So Project Keronos is a project backed by the French MOD, by the Agence Innovation Défense, so the innovation branch of the French MOD. And this project aims at establishing a link between an optical link between a nanosatellite that is developed and operated by Unseen Labs, another company from Rennes, and a ground station, an optical ground station that we manufactured. This was a really important project for Cailabs because it showed first the trust from the French MOD into 2 small companies, 2 startups in the space sector. So that was very important. And this is the project that put us on the track of actually developing these optical ground stations that you can see on the picture, these optical communication terminals on the ground to communicate with satellites. And so this was a very important step in the development of the space applications for Cailabs.
Okay. And if we switch to laser machinery, what are the solutions you currently sell in this field?
So in laser material processing, we sell subsystems, typically laser heads that can be integrated in laser machines. So we're talking about welding, cutting, additive manufacturing machines. What we provide is a laser head that changes the shape of the laser beam to improve the quality of the yield of the process. So for example, for welding, you can change the shape from a Gaussian beam to a donut, a ring shape, and this is much more stable and improves the quality of the laser weld for example, car manufacturing. This is the type of products that we sell.
And maybe another in another industry, such as the telecom industry, what's the typical product you sell today to this industry? So you mentioned your first product sold to a Japanese telecom operator. But today, what is the typical product you sell to the telecom industry?
So we're still working on the same products that the initial one. So developing this very high throughput links. This is still a research topic at 10 years after we started. So we are providing research groups around the world with our product. But we have also started since 2014 another product line for the telecom applications, which is more for older fibers. So actually not the future networks, but for existing local area networks. So typically enterprise networks, universities, hospitals, all these kind of campuses have fibers in their networks, and some of them are actually pretty old. They date from the 80s, 90s, and they have a limited capacity. And what we provide to these kind of campus are a small box that you can put at the end of the fiber that improves the capacity of the fiber just by changing the way the light actually travels inside the fiber. So basically, they don't have to rip out the old fiber and put new ones. So it's a much more green way to improve the network. It's also more cost effective. It's less hassle because you don't have to do all the work, the renovation work around it. And so it's especially useful for big campuses like universities or industrial campuses.
Okay, and so if we look at geographical markets, so maybe I'm going to wrap several questions into one question. So how would you compare the maturity of Europe versus US versus Asia when it comes to photonic products and services? What's your view today?
My feeling is that there's a lot of innovative work in Europe, and I think we have very cutting edge products, very high quality photonics products. Also because there's a strong relationship with the research labs, so a lot of spin-offs or at least products that are spun off research labs, but they're not necessary for high volume markets. I think we don't have the cost structure. It's very hard in Europe to have the cost structures to match Asia, for example, in terms of volume production. But yeah, a lot of very high quality products. And if I even look at Cailabs supply chain, when we look for high quality stuff, it's mostly European manufacturers. And if we look at the US, for a lot of things, it feels like a parallel market, to be honest. I think there's a lot of funding in the US from the defense applications. And so this also, of course, improves a lot of use of photonics for the defense applications. So a lot of money poured there, but it's hard to exchange from that. Sometimes the components become ITAR, so that they cannot export it. And there's in reverse, they don't really purchase from Europe either. So it sometimes feels like a parallel market, I would say.
Okay, but Cailabs sells everywhere today.
Yes, we do sell everywhere. Yes, I think we have something that's sufficiently unique so that the people cannot find an alternative locally. So that's how we manage to have a global market.
Okay, and so if we were to discuss maybe the strengths and weaknesses in Europe of the, I'm talking here about the state of the art research in photonics. What would you say are the or strong points and or weak points in Europe?
Strong points, yeah, same as what I mentioned before, but I think we have very strong research and so very innovative players in Europe. Also, a lot of SMEs that are supported locally or by the European Commission. So it enables a lot of research. So that's and a lot of innovation. So that's very great. However, I guess we cannot cover the full supply chain in photonics in Europe, and that might become an issue, especially in the past years. I guess the sovereignty part is becoming more and more important, and we may need to improve on some fields where maybe the US or the Asia are stronger than us. For example, for chips and things like that that are useful, where we still need to improve our supply chain in Europe.
Okay. And if you were to compare the situation of Europe with the situation in the US or in Asia, in countries such as China or Japan, how would what would you say are the strong points of the US or Asia and their weak points?
I feel like US, a lot of money from defense, a lot of investments. However, I think it's recognized everywhere that the engineers in Europe are really really excellent, really qualified, and so we have to be proud of that and to continue to ride on that wave. I think in Asia, I think it's a very it's hard to consider Asia as a single market. It's a very locally different, but we see that there are some countries like Japan who are able to invest also a lot on some programs and to have a very long-term program on some topics. I think this is still missing in Europe. It's getting better and better with the European Commission, but this very long plan on a specific topic to push from research topic to actually something that's deployed on the market. We've seen that, for example, for telecom in Japan. It's very impressive. The support the telecom companies and telecom research groups get from the Japanese government and over a very long period of time. And this is something that I would love to see as well in Europe.
And do you see one country or a few ones which could emerge as significant new players in the photonic industry in the coming years?
I don't think it's a newcomer at all, but I'm very, very impressed by what is being done in Lithuania. A lot of Lithuanian companies in photonics that are doing very impressive work and very innovative work. What I hear from them is that they have hard access to fundings, actually. So I think this is a shame for them because they have strong engineers, very good teams in Lithuania, a lot of great companies there.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move on maybe to skip a few questions, but so I'm coming back to Cailabs. So how do you see the markets of Cailabs grow in the future? Are there other industries you're going to consider in the coming years, or are you going to stay focused on the ones you're already serving? How do you look at the future for Cailabs in terms of
for Cailabs, today our growth is mainly pulled by the laser communication, so space communication activities. This is the part that is growing the fastest. And I think this is going to continue. I mean, with all the new space sector, all the investments that have been done in the space sector, all the needs for space communication, this is going to continue in the coming years, and this is going to still be the the main growth accelerator for Cailabs. However, for other applications, so telecom, laser material processing, also defense applications, I see that I think we will have a healthy, steady growth. So not as spectacular as the laser com parts, but something that is growing steadily in the coming years. And we keep dedicated activities in Cailabs to explore new fields. So not necessarily internally, but we provide our technology to a lot of research groups so that they can explore how this beam shaping technology can actually be used for other applications. So for example, actually TILBA, so the laser com application comes from that. It comes from a research group that used our technology and tested it, and that's how we launched this product line. And there we expect to have maybe other markets opening thanks to this these activities.
Okay, so the story of Cailabs looks like a great success story, but maybe you remember or did you face a few challenges over the last 10 years, or did Cailabs make mistakes in its development?
Yeah, of course, we had a lot of challenges and some mistakes. I think there are definitely some wrong products we bet on. So initially, we wanted to launch some products that didn't catch on with the market, but I think the fact that we very quickly realized that we needed to explore different markets, this helped us have more than one leg to stand on, so that it made it easier when we made the wrong bets. And the fact that we had this core technology that even if it was not the right market, we still improved on the technology, and this benefited to other markets. So it helped us stay afloat, I would say. And I guess we've been lucky. We have to never forget that. Sometimes it's just being lucky and being at the right place at the right moment.
But okay, honestly, if you look back at the first 10 years of Cailabs, what's your feeling? What do you feel?
I feel very proud, very grateful to be part of it. I think, we accomplished, I guess, what we wanted since the beginning, which was to really make industrial products and to make products that are useful, used in industries, used in machines. That's what we wanted. We didn't want to be just an engineering firm doing some plans for companies or designs for other companies, and we didn't want to just do research and work in the research topics. We really wanted to have a commercial product that's being deployed, and this is what we achieved. So I'm very proud of it.
And so French tech was very young when you started, but do you see Cailabs as a typical French tech company?
I hope so. I hope this is where French tech is going. Indeed, it's been growing stronger and stronger in the past years, and this is very good. We've received a lot of support from the French tech, and we hope there are more and more investments in deep tech companies, in hardware companies. It was honestly quite difficult at the beginning of Cailabs to get investment for hardware company. Everybody was about software as a service 10 years ago. It seems to be changing now thanks to the French tech partially, and this is a good thing.
So you feel the way people look at tech companies in France has definitely changed over the last 10 years, huh?
Yes, yeah.
So maybe among the I have still 3 questions for you. So first one, you moved from being a researcher in lab to being a corporate executive. So what do you remember as your biggest challenge?
I think very often I had imposter syndrome and feeling like I don't know what I'm doing, and really I learned quick enough to fulfill my position. But I think, and being a woman, it's even stronger. I think this imposter syndrome. But the good thing is, I always had the trust of Jean-François during this journey and this evolution from at the beginning, just trying to find the right market for one product and then launching all the products, etc., etc. This always the trust of Jean-François. I think it's a very well-meaning environment here in Cailabs to help people grow as well. I think it's important for us to help people grow, and this also goes for the senior management team for Cailabs and for me. So this was very important.
So is there maybe one insight you gained from your during your experience, which has been especially transformative for you?
I think again, especially as a woman, we have to trust ourselves, because otherwise people well, here in Cailabs there were trust from the management team, but outside of Cailabs it was not always easy as a woman and as a young professional to be always trusted by external partners.
Last question. So what advice would you offer to any female scientist today?
I think the one thing first is the field of photonics is great. I would there are a lot of opportunities, not only in research, but in a lot in photonics for young women, and I think it's a great field to launch a career. There are a lot of opportunities. There are ways to change between one position to another, to go from technical to sales to marketing. There are a lot of things to do, and at least for me, I feel like it's still a friendly environment. It can be a friendly environment. There are companies that are or research labs that are friendly for a female cohort. So yeah, look for that. And I think we have to set role models as well. So I know that in Cailabs we try to push that. We have a great female engineers in Cailabs. We ask them to actually go to high schools, for example, to talk about their experience to other students. We have a very diverse management team. So the senior management team, out of 9 people, 4 of them are women, and this is also something that we try to show. So we need more role model to show that it's possible to actually have any career you want as a woman in photonics. And I think this is really possible.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jian, for this interview. Congratulations again for being in the Photonics 100 list. It was a pleasure to have you today.
The pleasure is all mine. Thanks for having me.
The best of luck for whatever.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
So I guess, Maria, you